on this computer. All right. Hi, everyone. This is, in case you haven't seen last week's, this is our second how-to D&D video of 3. You might, if you have watched that, that's Afra. She loves D&D. She will probably scream through most of this. I apologize in advance. She really loves when I talk to my computer. Yes, Afra, thank you. So if you caught last week's, you'll notice that I have, last week it was just me. We made a character sheet, so you're all ready to get playing. So this week we're going to talk about how you actually play. We're going to run through kind of a little sample, not really an adventure, but a little sample thing to kind of show you. And to help me out today, I have my 2 roommates. So if you hear the bird kind of echoing, it's also because we're just in different rooms in the same house. So we have, with the skeleton hand in the background, that's Lindley, my roommate Lindley, and her character's name is Gideon. And then we have Marina in the other window, and her character's name is Enna. So, and then I am the DM, which we will be talking a lot about next week when we go over the how to DM Afra, if you so wanted to DM. So we'll kind of, next week we'll be kind of taking what we do here and walking through it, just me again, walking through it and talking about how you make the decisions as the DM when you have to make decisions, or how you make like an adventure, which this is going to be real basic. I'm going to make it up on the fly and we're just going to roll with it. So yeah, so you start out, you have your character sheet that you have hopefully made using the links and video from last week. Here's a nice filled out one. If you are a character that does spells, you will also have this lovely second sheet that will look pretty empty for now because you are a baby character. So like I only have two levels. And yeah, so we have, I believe they're each playing a level 1 character. Yes, is that right? Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, so they'll be about the same power level that you would be starting out. And so yeah, we're gonna get right into it. So I am the DM, I am the Dungeon Master, or GM, depending on your preference. Dungeons and Dragons has always been Dungeon Master, but Game Master kind of goes for a lot of different things, and a lot of different tabletop roleplay, because D&D might be the most popular, but it is not the only one by any stretch of the imagination. So we're gonna get started, and we're just gonna run through it like a play. I might stop at a couple points if I think that it needs clarification, or if Lindley or Marina are like, wait, you should say something about this, that is fine too. I just wanted to do quickly though, before we did, is kind of go through the dice. So you need either an app that does dice rolling, or you need a set of dice. Personally, I love the dice. All of us in this household love the dice, so we all have sets of dice. So this is the percentage die. This one you don't really use, on a day-to-day basis. You can use it to like make your character if you need like to do a 100-sided thing, but you can see that one. Then you have your triangle, which is your 4-sided dice. I think so you can see that Lindley's is a little different because of where the numbers are, but they all work the same way. There are 4 sides. You can roll 1 through 4. Your traditional 6-sided dice. Your 8-sided dice, which is like your diamond dice. Usually 6-sided, even 4-sided, 6-sided. Most of these you're going to use as your weapons. You'll see that on your character sheet from last week that it says like 1d10 or 1d6. This is what you'll roll if you actually hit something. So this is your 10. Here's your 12, which is one of my favorites.
It's a soccer ball.
Yeah, it basically is a... And then the 20, which is going to be your most used dice, because if you are attacking, it will decide whether or not you actually hit your opponent. And if you're doing any skill check things using your Constitution, Wisdom, Intelligence, etc. modifiers, you're going to be using these little suckers. So yeah, we're going to talk you through some basics. And so, okay, so we're going to start. And our 2 adventurers are they're wandering down the road. They are wandering together down the road. And right in front of them in a clearing, they find what looks like a very old, very abandoned building. What do our brave adventurers want to do with this building?
I am going to walk around it and see if it looks like it's been used lately or anything.
Okay, so this is when I would say, okay, she wants to try and find a detail. So this would be when I would say, okay, make me an investigation roll. And what she's going to do is she's going to roll her d20, and in your little skills box, you're going to have an investigation thing with your modifier, and then so you roll your d20 and then add that plus number or minus number if you rolled badly, and that will give you what your investigation is. So what'd you get?
I got a 5.
So she rolled badly, because obviously you can go up to over 20. So yeah, basically what that means is that you found no sign of it being used recently or anything ever having been there pretty much ever in the past, ever.
Cool. I want to go inside. Let's go inside, Anna.
I'm gonna roll to perceive stuff just in case.
Okay.
just to see if there's like a sense of anything around that we might want to be wary of.
Okay. And there are, as she rolls that, there are going to be, you get to know that these phrases, because perceive, investigate are things that are all words that you use off here. So perception is another option. So she's going to use perception. And what'd you get?
Hang on. Actually, hang on. That is an 8.
So she did not do a whole lot better perceiving. You at least have figured out that somebody has been here at some point in the past.
Do I know any point?
No.
No.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Okay. Just so before we go in, we should be aware that someone was definitely here a while ago.
Well, they haven't been here in a while, so we should go inside and make sure that there's nothing that we might be able to use.
So
okay. That seems like a fine plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see nothing wrong with this plan.
The door is, and obviously if they rolled high, they might find details and stuff to give them a better clue of what might be awaiting them in this house. The fact that they both rolled under 10 generally means they will not find any good clues to what might be waiting for them in this house. The door is still on its hinges. Well, it's on its bottom hinges, so it's crooked. So the bottom hinges are still attached, but it's slowly bending itself, and it's kind of ski-jawed in the doorway.
So it's really easy to push in and go inside then.
Yeah.
Cool. I go inside first.
Okay.
I follow with my rapier already out just in case.
Okay. So someone's being more cautious than the other one, which is generally how it goes when the three of us play. So yeah, you head inside, and it is a one-story house. You knew that from the outside. That was a detail I forgot, but yes, it is a one-story house. It is fairly large footprint. There is a hallway in front of you that runs the length of the house, and there are 2 doors on the left and 2 doors on the right.
I'm gonna go right.
I'm gonna take the left.
Okay. So let's see. So very often what I do, I know what they might be facing, but I don't necessarily know when. So I very often roll my D8 to determine whether or not somebody encounters something. If it's evens, they encounter something. If it is odds, they do not. Afra agrees with this. Okay. So Anna, you went
to the right.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you enter what looks like a den. There is some very falling apart furniture, easy chairs and that kind of stuff. There is a old roll top desk with the top down that is standing, but looks like if you breathe too heavily on it, it would fall over, just collapse in on itself. And there are a couple of bookcases with the tattered remains of books and other objects on the bookcases.
Well, it doesn't seem like there's anything like valuable or important in here, but I am going to do an investigation check just in case because
All
I
right.
have reasons for scrounging up anything I can find.
Okay.
Come on, dice. Let's see. Investigation is not a skill that I have proficiency in this time, which is deeply annoying. That is going to be a 6.
Yeah, you don't find anything of interest, anything worth any money. You do, the desk, like the roll top on the desk seems to be stuck.
Can I force it open?
How do you want to force it open? How do you want to try and force it open?
I want to see if there is a lock on it.
There is not a lock. It is just like jammed shut somehow in the probably time that it has been sitting there.
Okay, then I probably just want to I'm going to take my dagger and I'm going to find any crack in between the roll top and the desk itself and
Okay.
just kind of try to jimmy it open.
Okay. Then make me just a straight strength check.
Okay. That's fine. And as a bard, she's not a force of brute strength. All right. That is a 6. Again, these dice are not rolling terribly well.
Yeah, so you're as you start to kind of try and force it up, you hear an ominous creaking from both the desk and your dagger.
Oh no, I quickly hide my dagger again. But do I get any purchase at all? Do I get any opening whatsoever?
I mean, you found a crack. You just, as you were trying to lever it up, it didn't seem to be giving at all.
Okay, I give up on the desk and go to the other room on the right.
Okay. In the meantime, while you've been doing that, Gideon has already gone into the room on the right.
On the left.
On the left. Sorry, the room on the left. And what you find is a sitting room. Like one of those kind of fancy sitting rooms that, really like rich people have. But this one was clearly like an attempt to copy that. Everything has started to really fall apart, except for one couch that has the remains of a skeleton sitting on it.
Nice.
That's not the word I would have used, but okay, sure, that's fine.
I mean, she's got the like, I don't know if I should be
I know.
My screen. So she has, the she's all about the skeletons clearly.
Yeah. I'm gonna go up to the skeleton and I'm gonna check it out and see if it has anything that I might want to figure that the skeleton would rather that I have instead of it, since it's not using it anymore.
Okay. The skeleton, which as you approach seems in slightly better condition than you thought it was when you entered the room, has a like old-fashioned, slightly rusty sword lying across its lap, and is wearing like an old, what you thought was kind of a weird-looking almost bonnet hat is actually like a very rusted kind of metal helm thing on its head.
I want to take the helm and put it on my head so that I can go show Anna.
Yeah, you have absolutely no problem doing this.
Okay. Once I have the helm on my head, I walk back out into the hallway and I'm like, hey, what's up? Look at what I found.
Where'd you get that?
From a skeleton.
There's a skeleton in this house? Okay,
There's
sure.
A skeleton, yeah.
As you, what are your passive perceptions, friends?
10.
It would be 10 plus your wisdom modifier.
11.
So Anna, you hear behind Gideon the sound of something, basically like a clacking noise behind Gideon. And as Gideon points out,
I'm busy modeling my helmet.
Yeah, you see around the like edge of the doorway, this skeleton hand reach out to like grab the helm.
Gideon, look out!
I try and do a shoulder roll forward.
All right, roll me an acrobatics check. So there's acrobatics and athletics as she rolls me this. They can be very similar in a lot of ways. Usually acrobatics I do if it's something like a shoulder roll or something that you want to look really pretty, where athletics is I just want to get it done and it doesn't have to look pretty. All right, how'd you roll on your shoulder roll?
Well, I rolled a 4, but I have a +5 in acrobatics, so I got a 9 total.
You fling yourself forward all right. You kind of like, you know how, I don't know if most people know how these work, but you know, you kind of roll forward, so you roll off your shoulder and like use that as your momentum to keep going. And basically you kind of get yourself like almost up on the shoulder and then just flop to the side. So you dodge the skeleton's grasp, but you don't really succeed in your shoulder roll.
Oh man.
Almost there.
I whip out my rapier again and leap over Gideon to attack the skeleton.
All right, this sounds good. What I'm going to do is, this is a point, so we're going into combat, and what happens in combat is basically the first thing is that all members of combat, including the use that as sheet, including the creature or creatures that are doing the attacking, will roll initiative, which is just, Afra really likes initiative. I'm pretty sure she's like half figured out how to say the word. Hi, Afra. An initiative is basically, it's your D20 plus your dex. Is it your dex modifier or your wisdom?
Yeah,
Dex.
that's your dex modifier.
Yeah.
Plus your dex modifier. So you roll your D20. So I'm going to roll this time too. This is my first roll because I am rolling as the skeleton. I am living up to the reputation that we have going so far of rolling terribly tonight. I think we all need to fire our dice.
Yeah, my dice are fired.
Um,
Very, very fired. I have a 5, by the way.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What's your
I mean, at least
modifier?
it's initiative and not something else.
Yeah. Well, I got an 11. I rolled an 8, and then my initiative is +3.
you got a 5, Anna?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
New dice time.
All right.
If you do have a spare set, sometimes it can be better to just switch it up part way.
Yeah, or like that's when you pull out the app.
Yeah.
You don't have one of the apps because yeah, sometimes honestly, if a dice starts out really bad and within a couple rolls doesn't get better, it's probably not going to. But it might be better the next time. I mean, definitely try it again. But
Yeah.
there's definitely superstition about bad dice in the D&D world. So, all right.
There we go.
So I have out, and they're not going to be at all surprised by this, so I can show it to you. I have out the monster manual, which gives me all the stats I need of the skeletons, the skeleton stat, so I can use this to figure out what I'm going to do to attack them. If you don't have a monsters manual, that's okay. Pretty much everything, as I talked about last week, is Googleable. Like if you Google, you know, like D&D 5e, because we're in the 5th edition, skeleton, they will pop up. There are places that have D&D Beyond, a bunch of the other places have basically all the stats for pretty much all the creatures you could want. And you can look stuff up there. So you don't need any of the books. All right, so basically what happens first as Anna kind of lunges at the skeleton, like hand that's like it hasn't come around, it's just the hand that's kind of sticking out. You both hear further clacking from down the hall, and out of one of the rooms charges another skeleton. This one aiming a short bow at. I also often roll to see who gets like attacked. This depends on how many people. So today I'm just going to roll my D4. If it's odds, it's going to be Gideon. If it's evens, it's going to be Anna. But if you have a bigger group, you know, advance your dice. If you, like, sometimes I have a group of 5, so I use my D6, and then like if I roll a 6, I just re-roll until I roll a number that is not 6, and that pertains to one of the people in the group. So this one's going to try and go after Gideon, who is prone on the ground, which means it gets advantage from her failed shoulder roll. So it gets advantage, which means it gets to roll twice to try and hit and take the higher of the two numbers. So, no, wait, that's the wrong dice.
Bad luck for me.
All right, it's gonna pretty much definitely hit, I think. What is your armor class, Gideon?
My armor class is 14.
All right, so yeah, basically what I have rolled as the skeleton needs to beat a 14 for her to hit. Unfortunately, I rolled a 21. So it definitely hits because I rolled a 17 plus the advantage the skeleton has, which is a +4. So I'm now going to roll damage. And it does 2 damage.
Ouch.
Yes, it has shot you with a short bow, and it has hurt.
Yeah.
Gideon, it is now your turn.
All right. I am going to get up, and I'm going to pull out my greatsword. And then I am going to try and use my greatsword to attack the skeleton that just shot me, because now I'm kind of upset that I got shot.
Okay. If you notice my face in some of these, we've not played with these characters before, so I don't necessarily know what their stats are or what weapons they have, so you might get a surprise. Oh, you have a big sword.
I do have a big sword.
So yeah, roll to see if you hit with your big sword. Do you need to fire your dice? Do I need to bring you more dice?
I already switched out to a set that I had lying around, and this set rolled a 1.
Ooh, okay, so let me tell you about ones. I was hoping somebody would roll a 1 or a 20 to give me this opening. So 1s and 20s on your D20 are special. 1s are special in a bad way. 20s are special in a good way. So basically a 1 is basically like the equivalent of an epic fail, a critical fail, however you want to call it. It is a fail. It is not what you want to roll. So basically, usually what it means is that
Oh no.
Is that something extra special bad happens. So in this case,
it doesn't matter that I have an attack bonus of +5 on my greatsword.
Right, because a 1 or a 20,
I rolled
an even 1 or a 20 outdoes anything that you might be able to add to it. Like, it doesn't really matter. In this case, what happens is as you charge the skeleton, the disembodied hand of the other one that hasn't come out yet grabs your wrist and just yanks you back. You don't fall over, but you stumble backwards away from the skeleton and almost lose your grip on your greatsword instead. And me, as the DM, gets to decide how bad it is. Since they are baby characters, I'm not going to make it that bad, but it also means that she's now off center and further away from the skeleton than she was in the first place. So that skeleton now gets to go. Let's see. All right. And he's going to go after Anna. Anna, what is your armor class?
11.
He got a 19.
No!
We'll say he got a 19. So he tries to attack you with the short sword that was on his lap. And he does 3 damage.
Mm-mm. I don't have a pencil, but that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It is now your turn, Anna.
Okay,
you basically go in initiative order. So the highest, I got for the skeleton that I did, I got a 16. Gideon had an 11. The second skeleton has an 8. Now Anna has a 5. So she's going to round out the order, and then we'll go back to the top of the order.
Okay, so there's only 2 skeletons, right?
There's only 2 skeletons. And I promise we'll surprise third. Because no one's rolling well. So then you'd be dead.
Thank you. I prefer to not be dead. Okay, so hang on.
I will also throw out there while she's looking up stuff is that, you might have spells you can do depending on your character. I believe Anna has spells, Gideon does not. You can also do something cool. You can just be like, I'm going to kick out the chest of the skeleton. You can try and do that, and then it's kind of up to the DM to figure out how exactly that works and what you get to roll as far as damage. So you don't have to just attack with one of your weapons. You can get creative. You can do any sorts of things that you want to do. You can throw a torch at them. You can swing off a banister and jump on their head. whatever you want to do with the space you are given. In this case, there's no stairs, so you can't swing off a banister and jump on its head. But with whatever space you're given, you can do whatever you want.
Okay. What I would like to do is move so that I am within 15 feet of at least one skeleton, but not within 15 feet of Gideon.
Okay, so you basically head probably down the hallway, because the one skeleton basically
Towards the
still
other
has
one.
an arm clamped. So you head down the hall, you kind of turn and head down the hallway towards the skeleton that has the short bow.
Okay. And once I'm safely out of range of injuring my partner, I'm going to cast Thunderwave.
Okay.
Which is an instantaneous action. A wave of thunderous force sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you, which is why I had to move, must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't pushed. Okay, yeah.
All right, so what do I have to beat?
My spell save DC is 12.
All right, so that means I have to beat a 12 with my d20.
Yes. No!
Oh.
All right, fine. So I'm just going to roll 2d8 now, and you can take half of that damage,
Okay.
I guess. I'm so put out right now.
That dice has been rolling well for the last. This is one of my brand new sets of dice, and this d20 has been rolling quite well.
You can take half of 3 damage.
So the general rule is if you take half of an odd number, like it should only take 1 damage. To give these guys a bit of a break, I will make the skeleton take 2 damage.
Thank you.
I can also get really complicated and be like 1.5, but then that just becomes hard math on my part, and I just am not playing that game. So
Yeah.
So 2 damage to the skeleton. Have you already traded out dice, Marina?
Yes! What's the new dice?
All right. We might have to cut this off before we finish this. Finish this if we continue like this. All right. So that same skeleton is now going to try and attack you because you are up in its business.
Okay. Gotta beat a 12, 11.
Fails. So it you're so close to it that it fires the bow like over your shoulder, and it like twangs off the ceiling somewhere near Gideon down the hallway.
Haha, you missed.
And now we go to Gideon.
I assume I still have my greatsword.
Yes.
So I'm gonna try and turn and use my greatsword to strike at the skeleton that grabbed me.
Okay.
Okay, now we're talking. I got a 15 with my +5 attack bonus is 20.
You absolutely hit.
Okay. So that means that I get to roll 2d6 damage and then add a 3. So that is a 5 and a 2. The 7 plus 3 is 10 damage.
That skeleton is now very much on the edge of falling apart. Like you've taken off the arm. The arm that was holding you, it's now still attached to your wrist, but it's just dangling.
Excellent.
It's kind of nice ornamentation. Yeah. Basically, you're just hanging out with the arm now. Yeah, and it rears back, very very stunned by the viciousness of the attack. It now goes, and it rolls a
Hey.
1. So
Finally.
basically, it rears back from the attack to the point where it just clatters over backwards and loses a couple more bones in the process. You're not sure where those bones are coming from, but there's definitely just kind of a scattering of some small bones, like, maybe like, I don't know, some of the like finger bones or something. They just kind of go scattering across the floor. And it is now prone, which means if either one of them attack it before it gets back up, they have advantage. And Enna, it is now your turn.
Oh, it is. Okay.
This is a short combat round, only for friends.
Okay. I'm going to use another spell. It's called Dissonant Whispers, and I'm going to use it on the healthier skeleton.
Okay, the one right in front of you.
Yes. So I whisper a discordant melody that only one creature of my choice within range can hear, the skeleton. Racking it with terrible pain, it must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
This is again, I'm beating a 12, yes?
Yes.
It got a 2.
All right.
I mean, technically a 4, but
Okay. That is 6 psychic damage.
all right.
Lucky that skeletons can still hear.
I know, right?
More of like feeling the vibration in its bones.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
I like that.
All right. So now we go back to that skeleton is now gonna go. And it hits. I got an 18 with its
Okay. That's fine.
it does 2 damage.
Less fine, but okay.
How many hit points do you have left?
I have 4 hit points left because I started with 9. Bards don't do super well on the hit points to start.
No.
Oh dear.
And we go to Gideon. You have a prone skeleton in front of you.
I'm going to just try and stomp it to death. I'm
Okay.
gonna try and like stomp on its skull, figuring that I have its helm now.
All right. Use like your strength modifier because you're just gonna stomp it. So she's gonna, when she rolls her d20, she's gonna add her strength modifier instead of her attack bonus.
So I rolled a 4 and my strength modifier is +3, so that's a 7.
But you get advantage because it's prone. So
Ah,
roll that
So
sucker
I can
again.
roll that again. Good. All right, that's a 19 +3.
All right, a 22 will absolutely stomp it.
Yay.
Roll me a d6.
All right.
So for things like this that don't have a specific, like you have to roll a specific thing, it's up to the DM to kind of. So I'm like, I would be okay with this thing taking up to 6 damage. So therefore, the d6 is what I tell her. If I didn't want to take as much, it'd be 4. A little bit more would be like an 8 or a 10. But I tend to default to d6 for strength-based attacks, like punching or kicking or that kind of stuff. So
I
stomp
rolled
it.
a 5.
It is, you stomp it into shards of bone.
Excellent.
Very, very dead. And now it is Enna's turn.
All right, I'm going to try to finish off the one in front of me with my rapier.
Okay.
That is a 7 to hit.
You do not hit it with your rapier.
Both these sets are fired.
I
that one
quietly
gets
think
to
to
go
myself
again.
that rapiers are bad.
That one gets to go again, but only rolls an 8, so does no better.
Haha.
Again, a arrow flings off over your head. Okay. Afra is very excited about an arrow flinging off over. She's excited about anything that flies, so arrows count. And Gideon, it is now your turn.
I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna go and help Enna with the skeleton that I assume is still bothering her.
Yes.
So I'm gonna come back around the corner and I'm gonna charge down the hall with my greatsword.
Okay. Roll to see if you hit said skeleton.
That's a 10.
No.
Oh.
Hit said skeleton. The skeleton too has some armor scraps, and you do not manage to hit it.
Clang.
Enna, it is your turn.
All right, 3rd time's a charm, hopefully. That is a 20 to hit, dirty 20.
Okay, so dirty 20 means she got 20, but she had to add her modifier to get it.
Yeah. In this case, is 19 plus 1.
You do absolutely hit.
Okay, that's more like it. 2 damage.
All right. It is not yet dead, but it is definitely damaged. It is that one's turn. It does not hit. It tries to swing at Gideon and fails. And it is now Gideon's turn.
All right. I'm gonna try my greatsword again.
Okay.
And that is,
There's a lot of math in D&D.
there's not only math, I had to figure out if that was a 6 or a 9. It's a 6 with a +5, so an 11. Not doing much better here.
No, and you still do not hit. So Anna,
Gosh.
usually I say, see if you can finish it off, and almost 99% of the time, the next person cannot finish it off. And I didn't even
Nope.
say it today.
So
I kept it
just-
inside. So Anna,
All
fight the
right.
skeleton.
15 to hit.
You do hit it.
Sweet.
Yay.
All right, let's try this one more time on the D8. Another 2 damage.
You finish it off.
Yay!
So this skeleton, yeah, you cut it. You basically slice its head off with your rapier, and the whole thing just disintegrates into a pile of bones. And yeah, you guys are out of combat. Just as a quick aside, if anyone had rolled a natural 20, which is a critical success, basically you get to do double the damage. So if you as Anna had just rolled a 2, she would be able to do double that amount of damage instead, which is fun. So you get a little bonus. You get to do like an amazing strike instead of just a normal strike. So that is the basics of how all this works. They can now why don't you guys both do an investigation check to see if there's any goodies?
I got
I'm guessing Anna didn't find
11.
anything.
I got a natural 1.
Oh no.
Anna has no idea what treasure looks like.
This is
She
very
takes one of those
unfortunate.
and it's like, is this treasure? An 11 will get you some treasure. So you find in a pouch on what would have been like kind of the belt area of the skeleton that has disintegrated in front of you. You find a pouch with 5 silver pieces.
Yay! I split them with Enna because
Yay!
I feel bad that she has temporarily forgotten what treasure looks like.
You're trying to remind her, look, this is what treasure looks like.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
Go find more of these.
Okay, and I go to search the other room that I was heading toward before we got attacked by skeletons.
All right, you have found yourself in a kitchen. It's a pretty, big old fireplace, countertops, cupboards, lots of places to search for treasure. Let's see if you find any.
All right.
I'm assuming you're going in the last bedroom? Gideon?
Yeah.
All right, you find yourself in a master bedroom.
Nat 20!
You found 20 gold pieces.
Yay! I will
Whoa.
split these with Gideon since she was so kind as to split her treasure with me before.
Yeah,
Yay.
you find scrolled in one of the cupboards just a strewn of like 20 gold pieces just lying around. So
Sweet.
you remembered what treasure looks like. How about
Yay.
you in the bedroom?
I got a 15.
So you find a small emerald
Ooh.
tucked in like one of the back of one of the drawers.
There we go. I'll sell that and split the profits with Enna.
There you go. So we have a very upstanding, fair group of adventurers here because
A profitable trip to a terrible skeleton-infested
they're
cabin.
skeleton infested.
And I got a helm.
Yeah, you got
Yay!
a really
I'm keeping
rusted,
it.
kind of looks like a bonnet helm, but a helm nonetheless.
I'm
Uh,
surprised that didn't immediately inflict a curse upon you, but okay.
She was in luck today.
Don't give her any ideas.
I never need any ideas. So that's the basics of how you play. Most of what you're doing as a player is your DM or GM will ask you for checks. If you want to achieve something, they will ask you for checks. And then you roll, and depending on how things work out, you either succeed or you don't, or you succeed to a degree, or you really don't succeed. Because like if you roll a nat 1 when you're like investigating, as you saw, you completely forget anything that you've ever known about investigating in your life. If you roll a nat 20, as you also saw, you get lots of fun rewards. So, or you get to do something like extra, like if you're doing an acrobatics and you get a 20, you've done it the best that anybody has ever seen anybody do that particular move in their entire life. So you're using it for checks, and then that was kind of how combat works. And I'll talk a little bit about both of those things again as we kind of go over this adventure next week's video. And I hope that this has gotten you guys, that these last 2 videos and the 3rd video get you guys interested. Later in the month, we have BBCon, the library's Comic Con, which is going virtual this year. And we're going to have some D&D one of the nights. So it should be up on the calendar by now. So please check if you're interested. If you've never played before, that's okay. We can give you a pre-gen character, or you can make one based on what we did from last week. Come join us. We're going to do just a quick, like, 2-hour one-shot. So like this, but a little longer with hopefully some more people. And I hope to see you there because I will be one of the DMs that night. Most likely. So yeah, please join us for BBCon, for D&D, and a whole bunch of other things coming up later in October. Keep an eye on our social media and our calendar because we're doing trivia, Geeky Pictionary, bingo, superhero bingo, and a variety of other things. So hope to see you later in October. Bye.